Welcome, everyone.
Welcome to the podcast.
We are here. I don't even know what week we're on.
We're in deep.
Part of my week.
I am Holly Feltz.
And I'm Sally Dale. And I want to remind everyone before we start that if you wish that you could see our lovely faces while we're talking, you can actually watch us on YouTube. We record all of these podcasts audioly and visually, auditorially. What is the word for that? We record the audio and
we record it with a microphone
and a camera.
We are high tech.
The technology that we have here.
Oh.
What?
I thought the battery was dying, but it just says recording. We're really high tech.
Holly, it's almost like Holly is around cameras often.
I am.
Okay, I want to start today's episode with a list I started writing down.
Oh no, I have no idea what this is.
And I think I wrote it down. It was ways that I know that I'm getting old.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, I didn't write it down, but it's okay because I remember. Okay, ways that I know that I'm getting old. The other day, so we live on a through street. So our neighborhood is not a grid. It's windy. One of the only streets that passes to the main street is our street. Mm-hmm. And people fly down the road way too fast. So the other day, the ways I know I'm getting old. One, there was a guy in our neighborhood that started a petition for speed bumps, and I signed it gladly. I was so excited. But
was this a digital signature, or it required your physical signature?
Andrew signed it for us.
Okay.
I think it was a physical signature.
So you're really in this.
Marvin was the one who put the petition
Sounds like
together.
A man who would put petitions.
I think it was paper. Yeah, I think it was
petitions
paper.
for the neighborhood together.
But two, they showed up with one of those little bump things to record the speed right in front of my house the other day, and I was so excited. I called Andrew. I was like, Andrew, they finally put a speed detector in front of our street. And Andrew drove over it with the van faster than normal so that we could get the speed bumps to skew the data.
So you guys are planting evidence. You're tampering with the evidence.
So that's the one way that I know that I'm getting old. The second way is that we considered going to see, there's my favorite band, The War on Drugs, is playing a show on my birthday in Atlanta. They're also playing a show in Tulsa. The Atlanta show, you got to buy tickets. You got to get an Airbnb. The show itself is like $200. The Tulsa show is $50. But we considered going to Atlanta just because we could sit down for the concert. And that's how I know. Andrew goes, I don't really want to go if I have to stand up. But I said, I know. But it's the difference of, do you want to spend like $1,100 or do you want to spend $100?
For the record, my factor into this was, but it would be fun. Even though it was like, but do we have that money set aside? It was like,
it'll be really fun.
We'll make money again one day. It'll be fine.
So then the other way that I know that Andrew and I are getting old is the other day, everything goes back to speeding. We're just very aware of people speeding in our neighborhood. We're on a family walk, and this lady comes driving in her Mercedes SUV like a bat out of hell. And Andrew is pushing the stroller, and he goes, here, hold the stroller, and starts running down the street with his arms up, yelling at her to stop. And she kind of stopped. I think she thought he was waving. And then she realized that he was yelling at her. I mean, she was going like 50 miles an hour in the neighborhood.
So he caught up to her?
No, there was no way that he could catch her.
Okay, I was like, first of all.
But there was a stop sign ahead, but he just takes off running. He's like, here, hold the stroller, and then just takes off.
Hold my bear.
Hey. And I was like, go get him. And then I think on that same walk or maybe a different walk, someone pulled up in front of our house, stopped, opened the door, shut their door, drove off, and Andrew jumped in the car and followed him. And these are the things that I know. Just to see, like, why are you stopping in front of my house and opening the door? What are you doing? Because they saw us turning into the driveway. So all I'm saying is, if you go by the Dale house and you're speeding or you're suspicious,
we're going to
get you.
Oh my gosh. That makes me think. So the other day I was on my way to the gym. You heard right.
Holly Feltz works out, you guys.
Anyways, beside the point. So I'm in the center median, and this car is just sitting there, okay? the opposite side of the road. There is no traffic. We're just sitting there, which...
to turn left?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm just convinced you're on your phone. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that like I've never been on my phone in this situation and that I'm perfect and tuck it away in the glove box. I'm just saying clearly we're not paying attention. Mm-hmm. Now listen, I believe that horns are in a car for a reason. I know some people shy away from the horn. Do you shy away from the horn?
I honked at someone on the way exiting to your house because they were on the phone.
Okay.
The light had been green for 3 seconds, like a full 1,002. And I'm like, you're on your phone.
We got to go.
Yeah.
So in this scenario, and I have my child in the back, and she's also getting impatient because she's like, why are we not going? So she's like, ah, which is what I'm doing internally. So it's the same. And so I give it a little beep.
Like a friendly.
Like just a one. It wasn't like I was like laying on my horn. And this person in their car in the moment threw their hands up. And I thought, you have no right. You have no right to sass me. They pull into the same parking lot that I'm going into, and they pull off to the side and they roll down their window.
Are you kidding?
And I just keep going because I thought, first of all, you don't want to have a conversation with me about this because I'm going to look like the stereotypical mom going to work out that I am in this moment in my white SUV as I pull down with my pointer finger. I have to be specific for just the people listening, with my pointer finger. Because you were not going.
Yeah.
Therefore, it was a gentle nudge and a reminder of like, hey, we can go. Mm-hmm. That's what I was doing. But now you're prompting me to go. Maybe I should have laid on my horn. Maybe I should have laid on it longer. But they just pulled and watched me park. And so I kind of sat there for a second. At the gym? Because I thought, are we going to fight? Is this podcast just a build up to me getting into a real life fight? But it was just so amazing to me. And so I guess you could say that I also felt old at that point.
What did they do?
They just stared. I was watching. I didn't
Was it a man or a woman?
It was a woman. Mm-hmm. So at that point.
I'm going to say this. I know it's controversial.
Oh, God.
Women, we're not very good drivers. We just aren't.
For the record, I've never had a ticket.
I haven't either. But
I've never been pulled over.
Have you hit a curb in the last week?
Probably.
Yes.
But you know what? I always hit a curve in the same. It's the same
it is my
spot.
Right rear tire.
Yep, same. Yeah. I had to think about it, but it's always. And again, let's put myself deep into a stereotype. It's always when I'm leaving Trader Joe's. It's the same curb, and I always go, "Oops,
whoops, oopsies." I think that's funny for like a woman to stare down and like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna get out and
that
fight
is
me?
What I want to know, because also
I think I would be tempted to yell across the parking lot. What are you gonna do?
You know, if I didn't have Everly with me, I probably would have pulled up beside them and been like, what is your problem? You weren't going. It was a solid 5 to 10 seconds of sitting there to where I'm like, because I'm not just immediately like the second you can go, I'm on my horn. I am a fairly patient person.
I don't know if I've told this story or not. There's this girl, I have done this several times. One time, there was a girl, left turn, light goes green, car's backed up.
No.
It is a full, the arrow goes green, she does not go. Everyone is honking at her. She misses the cycle completely.
Oh.
Because she's on her phone.
No.
Yes. So and we're like trying to get somewhere, and traffic is packed. It was already packed, and now she has missed the cycle, and so now there's like double the amount of cars. So second time, she almost does it again, laying on the horn. I'm like, girl, how long do you think that this red light lasts? It's not 5 minutes. Let's pay it. You're in the car. Remember, you're driving. So we go, and Andrew, I'm like, Andrew, get next to her, because I also, if you are on your phone to the point that you almost miss your light 2 times.
Yeah, that's too far.
You are a danger to yourself and to others, and I'm about to make a citizen's arrest, take you into custody myself. So I pull up next to her, and she looks at me and kind of waves, and I'm just like, hang up.
Did you still use the old-fashioned pinky and thumb phone?
And Andrew goes. So I'm like, sitting in the car smiling, and then I get next to her, and I transform in like a rageful mom. And Andrew's driving. And I'm just like, hang up. And Andrew goes, Maybe pull it back just a little bit.
This is coming from the man who
chases down, yes,
butt down the road with his arms in the air.
I will also say the Mercedes in our neighborhood had a distinctive sticker, and we are on the lookout for which house that belongs to.
Oh.
Andrew said he'd like to send them an edible arrangement that says "Learn how to drive." So we do. It's classy. We tell people off, but in a classy way.
See, if
an edible arrangement.
If my honking opponent would have offered, a kind gift like an edible arrangement, or been like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I just wanted to apologize and send you some chocolate strawberries," that'd be great.
It's just the immediate defensiveness that happens when you make a mistake while driving.
Yeah.
It's just immediate defensiveness. And I think, listen, can we not all admit that we've all made mistakes? We've all fallen short of the traffic rules. And just go, that's on me. Like someone has honked at me before and I've gone like, I'm sorry. It's on me. I wasn't paying attention.
I'm gonna be honest, if someone honks at me and I know I messed up, I kind of like try to avoid eye contact when they come by because I'm like, oh God, that was so awkward. Don't look at me.
I had, have you ever had anyone get out of their car and yell at you? Because I have.
I don't know that I have. I think I would have to really get out of town fast if that happened. That would make me uncomfortable.
I was 18 and I was driving down Highway 51, which if you don't live in Tulsa, that means nothing to you. But it's a kind of a windy highway, does not really have much of any of a shoulder. And I was following someone because I didn't know where I was going. Some backstory. I'm horrible at directions. Absolutely horrible. I'm better now. I know where I'm going. But when I was in high school, there were times I had to call Andrew and say, here are the cross streets. I don't know how to get home. Because that was before there were maps on your phone.
Oh, wow.
Way back when.
Add this to your list of how I know I'm getting older.
How I know I'm getting old. I had to print out my directions on MapQuest before I left somewhere so I knew where I was going. Because there was not a Google Maps. But I was getting into the right lane or left lane, and I was following a person, and I felt like I'm getting lost, and I was like freaked out. And I just got over, and I look in my rear view, and I see a car like swerve over to the shoulder and swerve back, and I just kind of go, was that me? Did I like push someone off the road? So I exit and my mom calls me and I'm like, Mom, I'm trying to follow someone. I get to a stop sign and this guy in a truck gets out of the car and I'm just like, Mom, there's someone getting out of the car. And he tells me to roll my window down and my mom's on the phone. She goes, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And he ripped me a new one. And he told me, he was like, you're on your phone. And I was like, I wasn't on my phone. I don't know where I'm going. And I finally got to where I was going, and it was like a work meeting, and I was just crying because I was thinking I could have killed somebody because I didn't check my shoulder all the way.
Dear Lord.
And I'm 18, and this guy just yelled at me.
Yeah, I would have cried for sure.
And I cried, and I felt horrible. I still feel bad.
So, sir, if you're listening.
Somehow I think that he's not listening to this podcast.
I don't want to say that he's not. But
I mean,
don't
there's
think
always
that
a possibility. He didn't really seem like our demographic.
Yeah, maybe not.
But it's one of those things I still hold with me. I'm still carrying the wounds of being embarrassed on the side of 21st Street.
Oh,
on my way to Utica.
Every time you pass that spot.
Every time I'm like,
Utica. Speaking of Utica, I was at one of our favorite little spots.
The place where we almost got into you almost threw down with those.
Correct. Yeah. So if you're caught up on the podcast, you may recall that I was someone was about to catch some hands, as the kids say. No, so I'm at Queenie's the other day, and our waitress comes over to me. And normally, all of my experiences with the staff at Queenie's are great. They have great waiters, great waitresses, friendly crew. And this woman who's waiting on us is like, she's talking with us, and then Micah goes to the restroom. Everly's like just chowing down on her sandwich, and also she's been super good. She's quiet. She's not like we've not caused any issues for anybody in the place. Okay, and she looks at Everly. She goes, and I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, and she goes, I don't really like little humans, but she's cute. Yeah. I'm not a fan of tiny humans.
How old was this woman?
I'm going to put her in her mid 40s. And I just thought,
listen,
I said to Micah when he got back, because I tell him, which of course, firsthand, I'm never deeply offended by someone who has, I have no relation with this woman. Yes. I don't know what's happened to her in her past. I mean, if you want to get deep, I don't know what wounds she has.
What did a kid do to you?
That's what I'm thinking. But I also thought, it's kind of the same thing. Like, she had red hair. It's kind of like me just walking up to her going, I don't really like redheads. Just like, hey, let me call out this thing that you clearly have. I have a human. It was also just interesting, like, verbiage that she used. But it was also just... It's like, what do I do with that? What do I do with what you just put in my hand?
She's got to be careful, because people with their kids, people will throw down.
Hey, she could get, the person who was in front of me who pulled over because I honked at him. And then what's going to happen? What's going to happen when she's face to face with that person?
It's just a weird, not very good social skills.
And like, being a waitress is a very social thing. And I always, Micah and I try to make it a point to be very friendly to wait staffs, because I'm also like, man, I could not handle people all day. And so it's not that we are a problem table or that we've sent back a lot of things. I mean, we want to ask how your day is. Let's have a conversation. Let's get to know each other a little bit. I don't like tiny humans. She's cute. I'm like, but you don't like her.
What did you say?
I was just like, oh, and I just laughed. It was so, what do I do with what you just said to me? And it just seemed really odd. And I thought, I don't know how to communicate with you anymore.
If you're listening and you don't like children, I understand.
To each their own.
I mean, I don't understand, because I love my children, but
I love my baby so much.
I understand if you're just like, I don't want to be around kids all the time. I totally get that. But maybe don't tell a parent that you normally, that has a child. Kid. Yeah, just go, I really hate kids.
Like, and to make it better, it was only Everly and I at the table at this point. And so it's not as if like you were there, or it's like a whole little, girl gang out to brunch. It was
bevies. I said it.
I'm
sorry, that was outlawed.
We said it, but listen, Queenie's is the place that has bevies on their menu.
It's true. I'm just staying true to the brand.
It's just relevant to the conversation.
Oh man.
Either way, I still don't know what to do with that, and if I'm ever presented with this conversation again, don't know how I'm going to handle it then.
Is she a new waitress? You're going to have to go back and sit in her section.
Yeah, I hadn't seen her before. We're going to have to make
a breakthrough.
We definitely are, because she needs to see Dot and Everly sitting down.
Are we going to make her love children? I will go to Queenie's every day with my children, and I will make her. And
eventually,
love them.
I will say, "Ma'am, can you watch her while I go to the bathroom?" And you will love her.
And I'll just never come back. Just make her stay with my kids forever. Mm-hmm. Oh man.
So yeah, that was my interesting brunch encounter the other day. And again, I feel like I just had a week full of, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening with the horn lady. I don't know what's happening with the human hater. I guess that's what she is, a human hater.
I think, some people, you just don't know what's going on in their regular life.
Right.
So I had a lady one time, I work in fitness. I teach group fitness classes. So years ago, I was teaching a cycle class. And typically, if only one person shows up to your class, I give them the option of if they want to still do it, because it can be kind of awkward to teach a class to one person. And honestly, it's not my favorite. I don't love it. So we're teaching, it was like a special class on the schedule, like a 30-minute class at noon on a Saturday. Nobody is there. So this one girl shows up, and we're talking and getting whatever, and she asks me, she goes, if it's only me, will you still do the class? And I said, well, it's totally up to you. If you want to, we can totally do it. And if not, if you don't want to do it, that's fine too. And she just stopped pedaling, and we've been having a good conversation. Stopped pedaling, gets off her bike, And I said, no, I'll teach the class. Like, why are you leaving? And she just like ripped me a new one.
What?
F you, F the, oh yeah. And I'm just standing there and she's like, this is just like going off. So
that would make my chest real hot and red.
Oh yeah. I was about to start sneezing just right then and there, but I felt like that wouldn't have been appropriate she wouldn't have taken me seriously if ma'am,
and she's like, oh, you're allergic to me now?
I called my group fitness manager because I'm like, this lady's going to send an email. I just knew. I'm like, it's coming. She's going to send an email to the gym. So I called my manager and told her, who I have a great relationship with. And I was like, Leslie, this is what happened. I gave her the option. We were having a great conversation. When I told her it was up to her, she got mad and swore up one side and down the other.
What was she upset about? Okay.
She emails Leslie and said that because of her schedule, she doesn't normally get to take a cycle class. This was a special time that she got to take. She was really looking forward to it. And she was going through a really rough divorce. And I was like, ding, 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 bingo.
Oh, wow.
It's like, this had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with there's a whole lot of other crap going on in your life. And I'm just the person that got the flack for it. And so I have more to say on that. But weeks go by and I am selling some lamps on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh my gosh.
And guess who buys them?
Cycle Lady.
And she meets me in the parking lot and I'm just kind of go, are you not going to address the fact that the last time we were face to face, you swore, like you cussed me out? No, gave me the money, acted all chipper. And I was just like, okay, I'll take your money. Here are the lamps. But so there was another lady who came to the gym too for a long time that had a granddaughter with an illness, and she was gone for a long time, came back normal. And I asked her, like, how is your day going? Like, how's your granddaughter? And her granddaughter had passed away. Like a little baby. And she was like, I just am here to just get away from it. And that really made me go, oh my gosh, there are people walking around with major things going on in their life.
Yeah.
And they don't let you're not going to let a stranger know.
Right.
But you just never know what people are going through. And so when they're mean, I typically tend to think, okay, something else is going on in your life, or you're just a jerk. Or that either there's something else going on, or you're just the worst human in the world.
It's almost like too that even the jerks, maybe it's something went on for so long that didn't ever get addressed and just kind of got like you become hardened over to it, and then it's just who you are and it is what it is.
And I think some people are just genuinely jerks. It's
Poopy.
not that everyone that's rude had to have something happen to them. But
has this deep traumatic story.
Yeah, it did. When I teach a class, I'm like, okay, I have no idea what's going on with these people. They could be coming in just to relax. And now when I only have one person,
you better not say anything.
I better say, we will do it. Listen, we'll do it. It's okay.
That is so funny because years ago I signed up the night before for this hot yoga class. Okay. It was at a studio that I hadn't been to, but it was a fairly popular studio. And so I thought, okay, if I go to the morning class, I'm sure it's going to be packed, but I'll schedule ahead. I go through I do all the things that I have to do. And I show up into this dark, intimate, hot yoga studio, and it is just me.
Ooh.
And the girl instructor, she didn't address that it was just me. She went about like everything as though there was a room full of people there, but I kind of wish she would have said, do you want to do this or do you want to come back? Like, hey, the 12 o'clock class is really full. Do you want to come back then? Or of course I'll do it right now if you want. But I remember I'm not a yogi, but like doing hot yoga, especially in this room, was just in a dark
breathing in a dark room
across the room from this woman, was just kind of like, and I remember she was really intense. Like she had clearly done yoga for years. And so there were things.
Was she disappointed in you?
No, I was pushing myself way too hard because I felt so uncomfortable to be like, I'm going to be honest, if there was a room full of people, I would have sat down a long time ago.
Yeah, you can't really sit down and take a break when it's just you.
No, I just powered through and I was dead after that.
The last hot yoga class I took, because I don't like seeing people sweaty, which is ironic because I work at a gym.
So I'm in group fitness.
Yeah, and I can't stand like drippy sweat. I'm like, wipe it off.
Wipe that sweat.
This guy, so I was in a packed class. Matt's, he puts a blanket in between us and he's like, this is so my sweat won't get over on your mat. And I was just like, I cannot take this class ever again. And he was right. He drenched. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. And I was like, there's no amount of sanitation that could make me ever want to come back.
The gym spray is not cleaning this one up.
No, there's no. They haven't invented a cleaner that can handle what's going on here.
Ugh.
Okay, speaking of cleaning.
Yes.
It is the final week.
It's the final.
I have a story to say one time. Or real quick.
One time. Just one time tell a story.
One time, Andrew and I were in the car driving in silence, and I kid you not, at the same time, we both started singing the final countdown.
Just out of the blue.
Out of the blue, and that's how I knew that it was true love. So anyway, anytime we both started going doo-doo-doo-doo at the same time. Oh my God. And we both looked at each other, and I said, "You are my soulmate."
And then you had an intense makeout session.
We pulled over the car and we made out. And that's how Dot. No, I'm kidding. We all know how Dot came to be.
We all know. It was New York.
It was like episode 6. If you want to go back and listen to that.
It was the New York Shark.
Episode.
I'm just kidding.
6. No. Oh my God. Okay.
Anyways,
final week of the cleaning challenge.
Yes.
Holly, what are we cleaning?
Cleaning out the junk drawer.
I have. How many junk drawers do you have?
Truly. Okay, that's all I. 3.
Okay. All in your kitchen?
Nope.
None of them in the kitchen?
One in the kitchen. And then we have that little buffet in our living room. And there's 2 drawers. And I have cleaned them out a couple of times. And they somehow keep getting them back in there.
We have 2 in our kitchen. And one is just for instruction manuals that I never look at. But I feel like I might need them someday. But I think companies put the instruction manuals online.
So,
right?
Not that long ago, I actually just let go of all of our instruction manuals because some of them were from like 2015.
Technology's been updated since then.
And I thought, why am I doing this? When have we ever? Okay, something else that makes me hold on to them though, I don't know why, is I'm like, well, if we're going to sell that oven, I want to have that manual make it look fresh, and that's a selling point. Original manual included.
So it's
seller tips.
Someone. If you need Holly to list your home, real estate.
I'm going into real estate copywriting.
We have a Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group. If you want to join the cleaning challenge, I was telling Holly, no one has joined our Facebook group. And she said, what are you talking about? We have a lot of people. And I said, the group I'm a part of only has 3 people.
I don't think I'm a part of the right group. Here's the thing, guys. What we've been working on for all these weeks of Weed and Sally Out. I'm just kidding. I think it's so funny that you're just in.
Why can't we be friends with Sally?
It's the spinoff podcast. Yeah, we're in the Facebook group.
Okay, well, I guess I'm in the wrong group.
And
because there's nothing going on in the group.
There's nothing.
I was really disappointed. I thought more people would want to be a part of this.
I really thought at least one person.
Yeah.
No, I had posted a poll to see who was participating in the challenge. And I was actually shocked at all the people who are doing the things that they were like, oh, I've done. There were a couple of people that said, okay, I haven't started. I'm like, that's okay.
I didn't clean out my fridge last week, so.
No, it's fine. But there were people that were like, I've done all 3. So do all 4 and complete the challenge.
I invited? Does it say that I'm in this group?
Let's see. It's going to be awesome if you're not. Clearly you're not.
Well, okay, there's a group called like Why Can't We Be Friends Community.
Don't be confusing our listeners.
Well, that's what I thought I saw. And there in that group, it was me and you and some other girl.
I wonder if you are in the one from like before we launched anything.
I don't know. Listen, guys, I don't know what's going on.
I don't think you're in the group.
This whole time. I'm not invited to the group. My podcast.
Okay. I'm going to
invite me. If you haven't joined the group, don't worry, because apparently neither have I.
Don't you worry.
We'll join together. Oh, that is so funny. And we're going to do a giveaway. We'll do that this week. We'll figure that out.
Yes. So
I think we should give away one of those cedar mop things.
Ooh, that's good. Wow.
Yeah.
You're putting some things on the table.
That's what I think we should do. And some cleansers and some essential oils.
You're really putting a hefty gift basket together. I'm gonna
put $500. No, I'm kidding.
Let's see how many people join tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, one listener told us that they were pretty sick of hearing us say all that to say. So I've come up with some alternative phrases.
I'm pretty sick.
In summation, in conclusion, to wrap things up.
In closing.
That's all we have to say about that.
All right, Forrest. Well, join the Facebook group.
I will be joining.
You know what I think it is? I just think that we don't like goodbyes. And we struggle to say, to wrap things up.
It's because I could keep talking.
But, all that to say, we're so glad that you listened to another episode, or maybe this was your first episode. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, if you want to scroll down, hit those 5 stars. Light them up and leave us a kind review. We welcome criticism to our email.
And also kind words. And if you're on Spotify, hopefully it posts at the right time today.
Spotify. That's who we're going to fight.
That's who, yeah.
Spotify.
I'll fight them right now.
Whoever's
Who's
heading
the
it
head?
up.
Who's the CEO?
I'm going to get to work on that. I got to go. I got to go find out who it is.
All right. We will see you guys later. Have a great week.
Bye.